The Green Room with Paul Provenza was a show aired in 2010 in which Paul sat with other comedians in front of live audience to discuss provocative topics with absolutely no filter. It ran for 2 seasons after coming to an end. The show received mixed reviews at the time of airing, with April McIntyre, in Monsters and Critics, called the show genius and stated the anecdotes are priceless for those who truly love comedy, comics and stand-up as an art form. Why the show should be back in 2021 is a good point to discuss. Nowadays the cancel culture has changed the life of every artist. The main question is that in a cancel culture environment, are comedians pulling their punches? Are subjects like race and sex, staples of stand-up, now off topic? And what would the Green Room will change about that? There are newer comedians working their way through a fairly turbulent comedic culture, battling their way through the cancel culture, along with the potential for more interesting takes on how some of the veterans have maintained their careers through changing times. And that is what the Green Room does best. There is an episode in which Gary Shandling is talking about how he sees Bo Burnham to be unique and
You can still be introspective and not show any of that on stage directly. Like, I don't talk about life.
I mean, you're so clearly, if I make this is a compliment, you are so clearly a very unique fellow that it's clear that just by being yourself, that stuff comes out of you. It doesn't mean that you have to talk about yourself necessarily.
Right, no, right. Yeah.
Just play along, I know that you've been on an internal journey, a spiritual journey. Would you call it a spiritual
Yeah,
journey?
it's pronounced spiritual.
Thanks.
You know, I've been meditating far too long to be happy about anything.
Comedians in the show talked without a filter. There were moments with jokes that are not going to be used now because of the premise of them.
Very.
Look at him.
Where? Oh, yeah.
Whiteface. I thought that might be a little recompense for so much racism over hundreds of years.
You know what, though? The Marv, you should wear blackface and instead of coming out of a box, break out of jail. That's a new thing. Thank you. Good night. I have to go. Thank you, everybody.
Funny white joke.
By the way, I had no idea what you haven't told us. I don't know what to do on this show.
This is it.
This is it.
We just talked?
There could be some physical assault. There could be some gunplay. There could be some anal sex. It could go anywhere.
Don't look at me like that, Mooney. It's Thanksgiving, I'm the turkey.
I know I'm looking at you, but white people look more like a monkey, and here we were in Africa, human beings, minding our business, and then white people brought their monkey ass over there. Then they forced us to be slaves, brought us here, fucked us, and now we're part monkey.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wait. We also let you go. I never heard thank you. You know?
That is the whole thing with pedophiles, right?
I need to hear this potentially valuable information.
As a society, right, what we do with pedophiles is we excuse some, we don't excuse others, right? So Elvis Presley had Priscilla Presley move into his house at 14 years of age, and he became a legal gardener. He fucked her until she was 16, then he married her. And Charlie Chaplin impregnated a 15-year-old. Yet no one says anything because they were the best in their field, right? You're never going to get another king of rock and roll, and you'll never get a Bella Silent movie star, right? All I'm saying is, how talented do you have to be to fuck a kid? At what stage do we as a society go, but he was good, right? See?
I've known you for like 30 years, okay? You cross lines. You say shit that so many other people would get just excoriated for. Do people stand up in your show and go, "You're racist"? Have you ever had that?
Let's see. These two niggers walk in a bar. Shut up.
Hey.
Have you heard this? It's no problem.
How did they get into the bar, Bobby? Was it whites only? What happened?
15 minutes.
What is the most offensive joke that you've ever written?
If only Africa had more mosquito nets, then every year we could save millions of mosquitoes from dying needlessly of AIDS.
The Green Room showed how real discourse and disagreements should be handled, without things being so serious. Even if the situation itself is extremely important, you can and should.
It is.
We're saying some shit that if some politician or judge said they'd be in prison for it or they'd lose a job or whatever.
This is what I want.
But we're having fun with it.
Should still joke about it. The point I am trying to make is that taking a comedian on face value and inferring/judging bad intent or getting triggered by words, and overlooking the performance aspect that in fact the comic is self-aware and being ironic. Bill Burr in an episode, talks about the interaction he had using the word faggot, and whether it meant he has political positions he doesn't hold, because he said the bad word.
Really meant to say it this way.
I realize that.
But here's what it really rests on, is that the whole thing came off of one guy's blog. Every
One guy's interpretation.
news item about it. And how do we know he's not a dick? We weren't there. Sometimes some audience people can't see irony from a million miles away.
But did Tracy deny saying it? No. Did the guy get it wrong? No. Those two things
How do
we
you know that?
Because Tracy didn't say, wait, dude, that's not exactly what I
But
said.
whether he said something offensive or not, I just thought it was fucked up that one guy went home like with, I guess, the greatest memory ever, like a stenographer, and typed it out, and everybody's like, that's what he said, and that's what he meant, because guy in seat number 5F said it. And next thing you know, he's going around got to apologize. That's kind of a scary thing as a comedian.
Well,
I've
and it
seen
wasn't
Tracy's act, like, his show is crazy.
It
His
is
show
pretty
is pretty
crazy,
over the top.
Tracy's genuinely
So
out of his
it's
mind,
not
though.
like he's up there like, what's up with end tables, and then goes into that shit. And that's when it comes to me, where you're doing like this selective getting offended.
I got one I get in trouble for.
In the current age, if the show comes back, I'd like to see more conversation around audiences developing parasocial relationships, idolizing comedians and adopting their takes.